It's the family plot. Come and see what we got. If you like mystery and fantasy, then this is the spot. It's the family plot. Come and see what we got. Follow on Instagram and YouTube and even TikTok.
Okay, ladies, we are back with week 2, Kingdom of the Curse. Let's get on into it. Our first half, chapters 9 through 13. All right. So, Amelia's complicated relationship with Wrath intensifies as their emotional and magical bonds deepen. At a tense dinner with Wrath's court, Lord Macadon insults Amelia, prompting Wrath to violently assert his protection by cutting out the Lord's tongue. Furious that Wrath intervened, Amelia demands agency and power, asking for a weapon and training. Their tension culminates in a visit to the Crescent Shallows, a magical lagoon that reflects inner truths. After a shared vulnerable moment and growing intimacy, they begin to give in to their desires. However, when Amelia experiences extreme pain after the encounter, Wrath rushes her to Celestia, a powerful healer who warns of hidden dangers and secrets Wrath is keeping. Under pressure, Wrath finally confesses. The night Amelia was attacked by the Viperidae demon, he secretly marked her with a permanent magical bond. This revelation shatters Amelia's plans to ally with House Pride for revenge, as she now belongs to Wrath. Despite her fury at the betrayal, Wrath emphasizes that she still has a choice in how their relationship proceeds. Amelia, determined to regain control of her destiny, demands to visit House Envy, seeking answers. Child. And the first impressions. Mother, I'm going to let you go first. Please, come on off mute.
50 Shades of Wrath. I'm going to say that. Because, yeah. 50 Shades of Wrath. Because I think that's the easiest way to sum up these first set of these first chapters. And with that, I yield.
Understood. Understood. Cam.
Jaw was on the flow. I told you once you get to chapter 10, it's gonna pick up. Did I not say that?
You did. You definitely did.
We got to the end of chapter 10. Jaw was on the flow. And Wrath was full of shit for that. But Jaw was on the flow. And I yield.
Thank you, Cam. You've been saying Wrath's been full of shit for a couple books now. Like, we in the second book. But I get it.
When I'm wrong. Stop me when I'm wrong.
No lies have been told.
Okay.
So, okay. Glenna, first impressions, man.
The kind of courtly processes were interesting to watch. And I don't know. I had a feeling what was going to happen in the next section we're going to talk about, that he was doing what he was doing in this section to solely to kind of nudge her in that direction when we get to the second half of this week's thing. So I think every action he took had a reason. He did not blindly do any of that. Now, could he have talked to her more? Yeah. But, communication isn't exactly his thing. And with that, I yield.
Okay. Before I give my first impressions, Mom, I see you have a hand raised. Mom, go ahead and
I
come off.
just wanted to know what Gabby meant by he's full of shit.
Cam.
Well, if you must know. I'm very much in the same boat as Glenna as far as his communication is concerned, but I feel like once he said what he said, do we all know what he said? Because I'm trying not to spoil it for the viewers at the end of chapter 10.
No, don't.
I'll spoil it. But when he said that, which was the supposed secret that he was holding, I feel like that was a simple conversation. It would have saved her a lot of heartache. It would have saved him some emotional injury. It would have saved her probably some physical injury because her body was reacting to the fact that it was a lot going on around her that she wasn't aware of. Because as far as she knew, she had done one thing, and that thing is going to be considered null and void because of this other thing. And that causes, and let's still remember, she is still a teenager. She's a young adult, but she's a teenager. So there's a lot of unspoken, and as far as we know, Wrath is like hundreds of years old. He's lived for a long time. So there's a lot of unspoken emotion, and I feel like at this point, she's made it clear, or at least as clear as she can with what she has, the level of honesty she's needing and requiring to get to where she needs to be. And she's been upfront and honest, but he hasn't. And she realized that at the beginning of chapter 11, and it kind of hit her like a ton of bricks. And then it further sowed distrust that he's so-called been trying to gain from her. Like, you can't expect to gain all of this stuff, all of this trust, all of this longing, all of this want from her when you've been doing nothing but being dishonest. Because we did discuss a lie by omission is still a lie. And you allowed her to do all of these things that she did at the end of book 1, knowing you knew she ain't know. She's still thinking something else is finna go down. But you knew that you had no intentions on letting any of that stuff fly. Whole time, you could have just had a conversation with the girl. So instead of being honest and forthcoming and having communication skills, which after a certain couple 100 years we should have, you just decided to keep withholding information. And it's not like it's small information. This is big, vital stuff that's going to change the trajectory of her life moving forward.
He's a strategist, though.
Full of shit.
It ain't full of shit.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Because I may agree to the extent that he's hundreds of years old, but I also have to linger toward the fact that, number one, he's a prince of war. Mm-hmm. So he's a strategist, number one. So he does everything with purpose. And he's still in his own right, knowing what he knew, was still trying to give her the benefit of the doubt and letting her lead. Yeah, he probably could have told her some stuff, but she's it out of the first book, she was headstrong to begin with. She was like, no, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this, I want to do this. And she's young but very headstrong, and he's not trying to butt her. But everything he did in the first book, he did to allow her to follow the lead she wanted to follow, but still protect her when she was making stupid snapple mistakes. And she was doing stuff to put her own dang self in danger. Even though he was warning her against it, she still was doing stuff because, like, no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So he was like, okay, headstrong, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And he did all those measures. But I do have to correct you. It wasn't at the end of 11. It was at at the beginning of 11, it was at 12 when she got that info. Because 11 was the 50 Shades of Wrath scene, baby. And with that, I guess I need to yield because somebody is okay. I'm gonna go there. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. He could have told her, but he's trying to allow her to seek what she was trying to get in the way in which she tried to get it, despite her not listening to him. He still felt the need to protect her. But yeah, at the end of the day, they both. I'm gonna go ahead and yield because I got some other things to say.
Thank you,
That I
Mom.
yield.
Thank you for that assessment. Well, first thing first, you're both right. I I actually agree with both of you. Yes, he should have been forthcoming, but I understand why. Because as a Prince of Ward, I assume, and this is just, I don't know this yet, but I assume that his reason for withholding certain information has something to do with some other powers at work, or some other agreements he may have made, or even his own strategy to his own end. I'm not sure what that could be, but as you've said before, ladies, every move he makes is calculated. Down to cutting out that man's tongue, I was floored. My jaw was on the ground. I'm like, oh, you cutting out tongues? Because he just suggested something and didn't even say it outright. Did he deserve
That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. He knew
it was quite disrespectful and warranted. Yes, you need your tongue cut out, just like Nona needed her throat slit. However, I don't know why it shocked me as much as it did, because this is Wrath. This is the Prince of Wrath in hell. Like, I'm surprised he wasn't cutting tongues out in book 1. But here we are. So, moving on. When I got in that water, yes, mother, 50 Shades to oblivion. Like, I just Celestia reminds me a lot of Della Reese in Harlem Nights. and if you have not seen Harlem Nights, just imagine a sassy elderly woman who ain't taking no stuff. Like, she just gave me all of everything. Like, she like, boy, I ain't worried about you. Here, drink this. Like, before I move forward, Glenn, I see you have a question. Oh, come on off mute.
You were saying just before you moved on, there are things that he is choosing not to say. I think in his discussion with her, he came as close as he could to saying, I cannot say certain things. It's almost like he's under a gaze. So he's under a spell where he can't literally talk about certain objects or certain topics. And it seems like Envy's under the same.
You're absolutely right. I forgot all about that. Yeah, so that would fall under that umbrella of the larger powers.
But we don't know what that power is. It could be the mother, the maiden, and the crone that are doing this thing too.
No clue.
No clue.
Stay tuned. Okay, Cam, I see you have a question as well. Go ahead.
Real quick.
Because
this first impression is covering all the chapters, right?
Yeah. Of the first till 13.
Yeah, this is this is the first 5. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 9 through 13.
Because I have a theory about this higher power, but I'll save it for the next first impression.
Okay. Cool. Right, ladies, back on mute. The last of my first impressions on this was that magical bond. Ooh, child. I feel like y'all predicted it last week. Like, somebody somewhere said something. was it Glenna or my? Yeah.
I think we collectively agreed, because I told you once he called her name, and I say when he called her name, I call your name, calling. Sorry, But once he say her name, and he been calling her Amelia up in this book, he ain't call her witch no more. I'm just saying.
Yes, y'all clocked it. You did. You clocked it. I ain't even mad at it. I do feel for her because this whole bond is throwing a monkey wrench in her plans. Like, she's just been dead set on her plans, her scheme, revealing the truth, finding the murderer of her sister. And it's like, well, dag, baby girl can't catch no break. I mean, it's always something. And then, Cam, I do agree that how Wrath had framed this definitely does not set the stage for increasing trust, because you're showing all kind of ulterior motives, and whether or not they were in a marriage bond strictly for love or anything like that, it's really hard to build community and trust and respect in this type of dynamic. So, child, just a whole mess. Just a whole mess. I'm surprised Amelia ain't crashing out every chapter. But moving into our questions for this first half, we have, well, that escalated quickly. Autonomy and magical bonding in their water, Wrath's confession, Amelia's anger, and the witch murders. Cam, pick your poison, ma'am.
I so wanted you to pick me first. Oh, okay. That escalated quickly.
All right. Do you think Wrath was justified in violently defending Amelia at the court dinner? And what does this moment reveal about power dynamics in their relationship?
God, that was such a good scene. Okay, so I think he was, but he wasn't. I think he was justified, but he also wasn't. And I say that because knowing who Wrath is and knowing what he knows and how he feels, which is one thing I really do love about her writing, is you really can get both sides of a story emotion wise from the main characters. Knowing what we know about him and how he feels and what's going on in his mind in regards to her, his reaction was completely justified, because in his mind is, hey, this is my whoever, because we didn't know a name for it at that point, but this person is really important to me. My whole court knows this person is important to me, and this person is just trying to show they a snapple to see if I'm gonna do something about it, so let me do something about it. However, in Amelia's mind, she didn't know what was going on, because at this juncture she does not know, she's not aware that she holds such an important place in Wrath's mind, in his whatever he got in place of a heart. She's not aware of the importance that she holds in his court, because that fact has not been communicated to her. Because as far as she knows, she's supposed to be going with Dear Good Brother Pride. So I was very proud at this point, because she started to hold her own at that dinner. I don't know what girlfriend thought she was going to do with a butter knife, but she picked up a weapon. She picked up a weapon. So she was finally about to be in a mode of defending herself when Wrath stepped in. And to her, it was very much, or at least it came across to me like, what's going on? Where did he come from? Why is this happening? I had it handled. I need to learn how to take care of myself in this new world. Why is he not letting me do that? So for him, it was completely justified. For her, not so much. Yes, mother.
I'm just gonna be devil advocate right here. But Wrath told them up front, y'all have been warned. Address her appropriately. Only two things you can call her. This is my final warning. So he didn't already hit the people on how you supposed to treat this woman.
I know that.
How do you revere her? So for him to do that is totally disrespectful to his leader, who is Wrath. Regardless, I understand Amelia's point, but yeah, but to the bottom line is you stepped out of order because you were told up front you revere her a certain way, and so you just went against the leader. You went against the prince. So yeah, he got what he deserved.
I know that. That's why I said it was and it wasn't. It was to Wrath because he gave that warning. It was not to Amelia because Amelia was not aware that that was a warning that was given. She wasn't in the room when he had that conversation with those people.
Oh, I thought she was in the room because I thought he mentioned it again when they went in there. That you all will address it. It's my final.
Mom.
Okay.
It's implied that conversation happened prior to Amelia getting there.
Okay, so that's my mistake then, because I thought he said that as an implication of I told you all before, but this is your final warning. I thought he said that in the presence of the people, so that was my mistake. Okay, move it.
So as far as their power dynamics in the relationship, it's feeling very Captain Save-A-Ho-esque. But this is the girl who's not asking to be saved. As far as I'm concerned, she has expressed a desire to want to learn how to adjust and adapt in this world of supernatural beings, which is why she got so frustrated and to go as far as to say, okay, I'm gonna need you to give me a weapon and I'm gonna need some formal training. Because I kind of put myself in her shoes at that moment. And if I was getting ready to stand my ground and defend myself just to have a man come behind me and deal with my situation, I would be frustrated too, because I had it. I didn't need you. And I get that it was a power play for him to put on in front of his people. But in that moment, she had an air of embarrassment because it made it look like she couldn't handle her own. And I don't, nor have I ever thought at this point, now that she's down there, that was the case. Because she handled herself pretty well on the upside. And now that we down here, you have to give her a chance to prove that she can, or they'll never respect her in the way that you're demanding. And the fact that he stepped in when he did, when she was getting ready to handle it herself, that not only embarrassed her, but it showed her people, oh, she's nothing without him. And that's not cool. And I think until he understands that, there's always going to be a pushback from her, because that's the part that she's asking of him that he's not listening to. And with that, I yield.
Could not agree more, Cam. Actually, I believe the author wrote exactly that, or something to that effect, of explaining her anger in that moment. Couple things. Number one, yes, Mackinnon showed his whole entire snapper. Also, I feel like I too would be just as enraged as Amelia if everybody in this court knew I wasn't going to Pride's house but me. Like I'm over here walking around like I ain't about to be here that long and y'all know different. Yeah, I'd be pissed. Also, yes, Raph said what he said. Raph said what he said. Now, whatever possessed Mackinnon to try to go against what he said, I don't know. But here we are. And yes, Cam, you're right. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't say she
I
don't
was waiting to say
be-
that. She don't want to be saved. Okay.
Amelia is not trying to play damsel in distress over here. She is trying to get stuff done. Great work. Great assessment, Cam. Love it. So sorry, y'all. I did not put the buttons in here where I could go back to the main menu, so I got to get out of here. Hang on. All right. back to our discussion topics. And I'm probably gonna have to do this for the whole thing because I just never mind. All right, Glenna.
I'll take Wrath's confession.
Wrath's confession. Wrath's confession about the magical bond changes everything. Was his decision to mark Amelia an act of love, control, or protection? And do his reasons justify the deception?
Okay. Mr. Murray moved to the consulting room. I don't think at the time he did the act that it was an act of love. It was more protection. No, we're good. All right. See you tomorrow. I think it was an act of protection. I don't think he'd known her long enough for it to be considered an act of love. May be an act of compassion for her, or, since she was working with him in his task of companionship at that point, but not love. And I don't think it was control, because he wouldn't have asked for her consent if it was for control. And even though she was delirious at the time, he did indeed ask her consent. So I think it was simply to save her life and for nothing more. And do his reasons justify the deception? Yes and no. At the time, yes, because in the heat of the moment, she would have argued with him if he told her, to save your life, I need to betroth you to me. She would have fought him tooth and nail, and there's no way, and she would have ended up dying. So I think in the moment to save her life, I think his actions were completely and 100% justified, because she was not in a state of mind to make anything more than "can I help you" decisions. Now, the next day, I think he needed to have a conversation after his guy called him on it in the courtyard or the plaza. Yeah. That warranted a conversation. That conversation should have happened halfway in the middle of book one. That we should not be having this conversation right now. They should have already had that long before now. But, he holds his cards very close to the vest, and I completely understand why. And I understand there are certain things he's not allowed to tell her. But they could have gone about this entire scenario completely different, and her mission completely different, could have come to the same conclusions and the same outcome and helped him in the same process if they just talked to one another. But other than that, that's all I have.
Yes, Glenna. I too think it was an act of protection. He definitely I don't know how a demon prince would display love. So I mean, it's really difficult for me to put him under that umbrella. But everything he has done for her in book one and up to this point has been to protect her. So yeah, I feel like that tracks. And yes, she would have died otherwise. Because as headstrong as mom says she is, she'd have been like, nope, I ain't getting married to you. I ain't betrothing myself to you. And then we just would have not had another book. but here we are. And also, yes, timing is paramount. If you go, these are my confessions, like, do it early. That's all I'm saying. All right. Hang on. We're gonna go to the next one. Go to the next one. Mother, lay it on me. What will it be? Unmute yourself and pick a question, Mother.
Well, Y'all know what I would have gone to automatically.
What?
In the water.
How did I know?
I was hoping somebody else would pick that so I wouldn't.
All right. The crescent shallows reveal hidden truths. What do you think was the symbolic significance of Amelia and Wrath entering the water together? And what does it say about their inner desires?
I think, to me, after reading everything they have gone through and have dealt with in the realm, between realms and on Earth, I think this is a true sign of acceptance of one another. To me, I recognize you as a demon. You the witch. However, despite this, and we're supposed to be mortal enemies forever and ever and ever, I still accept you as is. It's almost kind of like what this whole situation was about in the beginning, about a prince of hell falling or being connected with a witch. But in this particular thing, knowing what they know about what he knows about it, the crescent shadows, and in having her, giving her the bit of information he got, alluding to and letting her know, you cannot come in here with anything that's man-made. This is all natural. This is the way you have to go into this, and she's like, oh, let's do it. Let's go in there. I'm not in that moment. To me, she was saying, I'm not fearful of you. I'm not ashamed of me and how I think and feel. And I'm not fearful to be this way with you. Because, they had to be naked to get into the water. And up until that point, the only time she was naked in the water with him was when he was trying to heal her. Because she damn near dying again, So the last couple of times she's nude in the water with him present is him trying to give her body heat so she can recover and be healed. In this particular case, this is not about a healing. This is you openly, knowingly walking into this water with this man who, in her mind, she knows she's betrothed to in the back of her mind, but she's still believing that she's going to another man. So at this moment, she's accepting, but she's telling herself. She keeps telling herself, oh, we can just have sex. We ain't got to be, it ain't got to be nothing else. We can just agree we're going to have this moment and it's good. She's telling herself that he already knows, this is my woman. I'm all in. It's all good for me. So even in this moment, this is the moment of acceptance on both parts. She accepts him for this heavenly body of lust that she has come to know. And he's finally, to me, accepting her as his wife. He was first mad because he was betrothed to her because of her spell. But in this moment, and throughout the whole first book, he has been doing everything in his power to provide and protect her. At this moment, he's succumbing to the urges of, at this point, I want to please her. I want to be not the hardcore wrath she's seen. I want to be that other side. I want to have this sensual side with her because she technically is my wife anyway. And that's how he's been revering her even more so since they've been down in hell. What does it say about their inner desires? Girl, they've been horny she been horny from Jump Street. We all know that. Would you say she doing all that stuff for the D? It's coming out now. But he's been very reserved about not allowing that side of him to take hold. He's been very reserved about that. And going into these waters, he knows he gonna be weak, and he willing to be weak. And it even says, hold on, because I got the page number.
Oh Lord, come with it.
On page 152. Well, that's where he calls her by name. And as he calls her by name and has an eternal battle when she mentions she wants to know his real name, although she knew he wouldn't share it. Right there, he already was struggling. Yeah, that's right. My mind telling me no, but my body saying yeah. I can't do, ain't nothing wrong. Okay. But then if you flip on over to page 157, she even says the prince who could not be commanded submitted himself to her order, and then he magicked their bodies to her bedchamber because she said, look here, take me to the bed. And he said, he was like, click up, come on. Is that what you want? She's like, yes, goddess, yes. He said, click up, and it's on. So at that point, they both had been feeling it. He finally submitted to her. And I told y'all, when that man called his name, he called her name, it's over. Because at that point, after 157, if you didn't feel some kind of way about what was going on, after you read all of that, you got to be dead. Some had to be, you got to feel something. And that's all I'm gonna say about that there. But yes, at this point, I'm going to yield because they was both feeling it. Like Kemi said, ain't nothing wrong with a little bum grass. No, okay, go ahead. I yield.
Thank you, Mother. Goodness gracious, yes. I really like your take on the symbolism here, that they are, accepting of one another, full vulnerability here, right? It's there's a major risk too, because wasn't it like some bones down there from people who had previously tried to get into the water? Yeah, so like y'all both at risk for ending up like them, and you're still walking into this thing together. That spoke volumes. It's a consensual choice now, and not a necessity just because you're dying. Yeah. Also, in the ways of acceptance, Mom, you mentioned him like radically accepting his fate here. Page 150, he says something that's so fire into this point. It's towards the top. He says, fate may deal its hand, try encouraging our path or intervene, but we are ultimately free to choose our own destiny. Never doubt that. Baby, this man said, look, I already radically accepted what's supposed to happen, but I still got a choice. And everything after in this chapter was him making a very conscious choice to act on his desires to please her. Catch that tea. Woo, yeah, that was a lot. Definitely had a lot of steamy moments I was not prepared to read. So yeah. Good job. Good talk, folks. Back to the questions. I really hate that I gotta do it like this, but I mean, here we are. Oh, everybody answered the question but me. Okay, let me pick one. I will pick Amelia's anger. So Amelia's anger stems from feeling manipulated and robbed of choice. How does the story explore the theme of free will versus fate, especially through magical elements? I just talked about this just a little bit. Both are definitely at play. There is this looming rain cloud of whatever fate has decided, right? But there seems to be a recurring theme of autonomy all throughout the book, because Amelia's constantly fighting for her autonomy. And the brothers are, even though they have all these different magical elements at their disposal, they're also looking towards their own benefit or trying to put fate in their favor, if you will. So it's like their fate and free will are just two coexisting forces in this book and in this world that we're reading about. It's pretty cool. All right. Any final thoughts on this half, ladies? Sorry, but that I yield. Yeah. Final thoughts? Nope.
I don't see nothing wrong.
With a little bump and grind.
Yield. All of you. All of yous. Yield.
She get in the water for the
Ain't
deep.
even do nothing.
Keep the
She
bones
was
in the
gone.
head for the deep.
Mother.
I'm sorry.
I'm about to say, Glenna did nothing. She was not present.
By association, all of yous. Just y'all in rare form tonight. Okay.
I told y'all, let him call her name. Just call her name.
I call your name, girl.
It was over. It was over.
I call your name. See, now y'all me acting up. See, it's crazy.
Okay. I need a like a 2-minute break. If we could pause and restart.
We can pause for the call. Actually, I can continue reading while you
Okay.
forward in your break. So go forth and prosper, mother. I really hate that I gotta do it this way, but here we are. All right. Second half, chapters 14 through 18. If it'll let me. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Emilia continues navigating the treacherous politics and emotional tensions among the demon princes. She's conflicted over her feelings for Wrath, desiring real love but wary of his true intentions. Wrath gives her a weapon and protection as they visit Envy's court, where Envy subtly threatens and tempts her. Emilia learns about the Triple Moon Mirror, a magical relic tied to the goddesses that can reveal truth. She begins scheming to use a truth spell at the upcoming Feast of the Wolf to uncover who killed her sister Victoria. While exploring Envy's Curiosities Chamber, Emilia uncovers magical truths, confirming Envy was behind the enchanted skull messages and steals La Prima's grimoire. She begins to harness her source magic, learns self-defense with Anir, and faces more confusion about Wrath's past and emotional availability. Wrath then puts Emilia through brutal magical training to teach her how to resist the powers of his brothers. He urges her to pursue justice and truth over vengeance. After an intense confrontation, Emilia asserts her boundaries, demanding respect and information sharing. Wrath accepts her terms, and Emilia, emotionally drained, breaks down, revealing just how much is at stake for her. Well, child, first impressions. Cam, I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. So when we were talking about first impressions the last go round, we were talking about Wrath possibly being under the microscope of a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
And while Envy was with Emilia, when he was showing off his little museum or whatever, she made the statement, and it kind of, when he said it, I kind of had to do a double take. I was like, huh? But she said something to the effect of, what in the 7 hells? And then he said 8, and then kept going. And so I'm wondering if this higher power is the person in charge of whatever this other hell is. Because I was like, what you mean? Because whole time we've only had 7 hells. We've had the 7 houses of the 7 demon princes. And we've determined, because she herself has said that pride is the devil. So who is the ruler of this 8th hell?
The devil.
but pride is the devil.
Are you sure?
That's what she has said. Amelia has said, she was talking about something and she said, and I know pride is the devil. But then she got to this point with envy, and he said, well, she said, what in the 7 hells? And he said 8. So who's over the 8th hell?
Girl,
The real devil.
wait a minute. Hold the phone. I need to my jaw. Hold on, because
Okay, while they're getting their minds together, I'm just going to say this. I have said repeatedly throughout the last book and in this one that people that reside in hell have never, not once, referred to pride as the devil. Only people who are from the human plane have ever referred to him as the devil. They always refer to him as pride or Prince of Pride or the Lord of the Pride domain. They never refer to him as the devil. Ever. Not once.
So then who's the devil?
you are correct. You are
The
correct.
devil, girl, the devil. It's a whole nother being. He just got 7 princes.
So now I'm even further pissed because why ain't nobody corrected her this whole time? In book 1
You've
or
been down there for a while.
huh?
You've been down there for a while.
A good little minute. Anybody could have just said, "Oh, you know, pride ain't the devil, right?" Anair, you human. You been down there for a minute. What's up? Help me.
I think,
So again,
Help me. Anair.
I think part of that is the fact that, you know, when he talked about people creating their own prison in their minds and they're outside of the gates of hell. Remember, he talked about humans getting trapped down there between the worlds because they've created their own.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. So I think because the people who know, ain't not necessarily in their mind, they kind of leave the humans to pick out their own destruction. You know, it's like, okay, if that's how you want to go down and be in eternity thinking that, okay, go on, think that. They don't really correct them for real. The only time you hear them getting correction is like if it's like in Envy's case, oh no, let me correct you, boo. It ain't what you thinking. Or it's by mistake. Like when someone like the one chick was talking to her and they revealed something that she wasn't aware of, and she go, oh really? You know, or she won't, you know, a lot of times correction, she's received correction by somebody revealing stuff to her that was not an actual correction. It was just them talking or them verifying information. I think, and from what I've seen, the princes of hell and folks down there, they just let you believe what you want to believe because they figure you human and y'all come up with all kinds of stories anyway. Y'all believe whatever.
yes, but the people in hell don't always have the story either. Because Envy also told her when she was asking about the grimoire, he made the statement somewhere along the effect of, well, the people who actually know the origins are so far long gone. Probably he basically alluded to the fact that they old as dirt and probably don't actually remember no more. But even the way he made it sound was even he didn't know the actual origin. He said the story that you know is not correct, but the people who do know, so not him, but the people who do know the origins are so far old and far gone that even the people, not all the people in hell know the full story either.
He did say that.
Here's a question. Where they at though? If they far gone, I mean, we in the underworld.
Now, he did tell her that there is an area that lies in between him and I believe he said, who he said? It was between him And
It's that story.
Sloth. It was the tombs in between him and Sloth. That land doesn't belong to any particular house, so you do not need permission to go there. The people who live there are likely in my opinion, are likely the people with the answers that she actually needs. Because they old and dead.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So many more questions have opened up, and I wish I would have had the ability to write these down. But anywho,
So you feel like the crone?
Then
yeah, the crone, because she was like, I would like to speak to the crone, and then Emmy was like, well, if you could find her. So, now I'm wondering, okay, where's she at though?
But that's who I think has the answers that Cam was talking about. It might be an ancient presence.
So then, in that regard, what if the devil ain't the devil at all?
Oh, child.
It's actually her or one of the people who were a part of the original story that led to the demon witch feud to begin with.
Possible.
Maybe the secrets, the lies. Okay. Mother, would you like to share first impressions?
This section was getting really good and juicy, because this is also I'm
sorry, this whole first impression just rocked my world. I'm sorry. Dang it, Cam.
Well,
I'm glad I could get it all out.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I'm not going above past. Okay, yeah, we still here. Okay. Well, see, I'm feeling because it's gotten more intense. We're going back toward her original goal. She's learning some things. The fact that this whole world of information has opened up just by going through Envy's Hall of Curiosities. I think what got me was before she went there. You remember when Celestia was putting information up out there about him needing to reveal stuff? She mentioned the feared. Y'all catch that? So to me, because he was like, hush, stop talking. I believe part of the reason we don't know who the true devil is because that information will be revealed in the third book. The Curse of the Feared, because there's something with that. And like Cam said, there's an area that is uncharted territory, where anybody can go without permission. That may be where those that are feared, like the crone or whomever, resides. But for whatever reason, because there's an area of fear somewhere in there, but you don't know. They don't say why it's feared. They didn't say, well, not in 12 anyway, but like what she's learning. So and I'm pretty sure she's going to backtrack to that, what she had said about that later. But I think the fact that these doors are opening for her to question more, to get more insight, is going to be interesting, because it's going to lead us even closer to truly identifying who the devil is. Because I told y'all, you remember at the end of the first book, my question was, okay, there's two different scenarios here. It could be all seven, or truly the devil, and it's just the devil in different forms, kind of like the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. In this case, the devil is the 7 different sins. Or it could be another entity or being, and just having these 7 princes be the sub, or almost not sub demons, but sub devils within that one devil's realm. And I feel like we're getting closer to that, trying to identify that, because Cam's right. No, I mean, not Glenna's right. Nobody identifies the devil other than to say the devil. Nobody calls wrath or envy or pride the devil down there. They call them by their actual sin name. So I really feel like these last 5 chapters were getting us closer to the true identity of, number one, who the devil was, but the fact that she opened up all of these new avenues of information from going through that hall of curiosities, and the fact that she found out some info about him, because he lost a loved one, and to me it sounds like he has wrath for wrath.
Mm-hmm.
Out for wrath. And I think the pursuing of her going around talking to these brothers is going to open the door to what's really going on. Because I mean, wrath is the biggest. He's got the biggest kingdom down there for a reason. Whether he's the actual devil or not, I don't know. Or whether pride is the devil, I don't know. Whether there's a whole nother entity that's the devil, who knows? But she's opening some doors that's giving some headlights into some answers coming this way. So that was my first impression. But yeah, I was kind of psyched at knowing that envy got it out for wrath.
Yes, specifically, he says that Wrath's anger caused him to lose something very important. I don't know if that does mean whatever loved one or whatever has him looking heartbroken in her eyes, or if it's an actual possession, because as Envy has shown us, he's got like a whole corridor of collections things. But yeah, good on you, Mom.
It also explains why he had no problem stabbing him when they was up above.
Nah, no problem at all. I swear, it was like showing up to a black fume. Craziness. So first impressions from me, she mentions this harnessing of her source magic somewhere in here, and I like that she is tapping into that power, but I need her to do a little more quickly. Like, I need you to be practicing by the fireplace every night. Get it together, sis. Also, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth, when Anir trains her and then events happen after that to further her training, it very much felt like training day with Denzel. And then I personally, my mind was boggled, because it's like, you gotta have a mirror, you gotta have a temptation key, you gotta have the grimoire just to open up this goddess magic. It's like a treasure hunt at this point. I'm like, dang, it's all these moving pieces. Amelia cannot catch a break. It's so much involved. And yes, I too wonder about the feared. Who are they? Where they at? And with that, I yield. Glenna, first impressions, ma'am. Two steps from eternity, we were 5 books into the club, yeah. And 70.
Sorry. I was a little bit of a loss going into this one. I think the transitions and her understanding and her awakening and the sense of what's kind of going on around her is developing nicely. I still think they need to talk better. But I'm worried about her interactions with Envy, because I think he's definitely using her to gather the things. He left her alone in a museum of the things he collected, knowing damn well she was going to take something. he was betting on it, which means either he's going to use that to get back at Wrath by going through her, by attacking her directly for stealing from him, or he's going to wait until she finds the thing that he wants, take it, and then accuse her of stealing and going after her. Because I don't think he's going to pass that opportunity up. But that's where I'm at right now.
Keep reading.
Yes, we got to keep reading. And yes, I do agree. Envy definitely set her up.
Yeah, that was such a setup.
Because when she said, "Oh, I was expecting a little bit more, like they would come looking for it," girl. Anywho, let's get to these discussion questions. All right, ladies, we have justice or vengeance, so in love, training day, Envy's answers, claiming her power, and another lover. Cam, what will it be?
Another lover.
Another lover. Another
conquest.
Right? Emilia believes Wrath loving someone else might make her path clearer. Do you agree that personal attachment could cloud Emilia's greater mission? And can love and revenge coexist in her world? That is not. Stop. There we go. Yeah.
She already attached.
Say that again.
She already attached. She been attached since book 1. Because if she wasn't attached, she wouldn't have freaked out when she tried to summon him back after Envy stabbed him and he didn't come back. So, honestly, at this point in the book, I feel like this book is a lot less about her trying to get vengeance for her sister than it is for her falling for this demon. Like, I feel like it's still in her mind, but it's taking a back burner to her trying to get through and navigate all of these developing feelings. Because she told Envy when he asked, like, no, I'm not in love with him, but I can't deny that there's an attraction there. So you already attached. Now you lying to yourself a little bit because it's more than just an attraction. Because you was about to do some things straight up out that pond. But her greater mission has been clouded since Envy stabbed him in book 1. Now, can love and revenge coexist? Absolutely, they can. Because I just feel like her revenge is gonna flop from being about her sister to being about the demons of hell. Because all along this way of her trying to get what she needs for the vengeance of her sister, she's either been wronged or going to be wronged by one of the main 3. And she's gotten a lot stronger in I need to make him feel what he made me feel. And it's becoming less about, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get vengeance for my sister, to let me make them hurt like they make me hurt in my quest to get vengeance for my sister. All the while, she's still harboring the love for her sister, which she's thinking is her driving force, when it's really not. And then the love that she's developing for Wrath, even though she don't know that that's what it is yet. And I yield.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you would have your Bibles, turn with me to page 232. Towards the bottom, Anir asks her, do you ask after me?
Let us get there. Hold on, let us get there. Hold on.
Sorry. Page 232.
Okay, like
This is Amelia and Anir talking, and she asked him, "Where is Wrath?" after she just got home from Prince Envy's house.
Mm-hmm.
And Anir says to her, "Do you ask after me when I'm away?" She says, "No." He says, "Ouch." Blood and bones. I immediately kicked myself as Anir's grin widened. I poured myself some water and took a sip. I just meant, he says, "No offense taken." His eyes glinted with amusement. "Lie to yourself all you want, but you'll have to do better around me. Baby, even the servants know you have feelings for this man. You lying to yourself."
This is also proven in the following passage on 233, where she
Come on.
said, "Fine. The truth is the emissary got under my skin. Lady Sandra, I imagine so. Her father's a duke, and she's never let anyone forget that elevated rank. She always believed she'd make an advantageous marriage match with the prince. That's why she became emissary. It puts her in close proximity to the royals. So she was feeling some kind of way that her man is being sought after by a hoe. I'm gonna call her a hoe because she was giving real bitchy energy, so she a hoe.
But don't forget, you remember when she had that thought or that vision of him being with another woman? Girl got hot and bothered as hell. She was mad as all get out.
For sure.
She was angry. And he was like, "What you so upset about?" And she didn't want to admit it, but she did.
As always, Cam.
She was with another woman.
Yeah. She loved him.
Only in her dreams. Right. So she mad even in her dreams because you dreaming that he with somebody else and you mad. Come on.
Mother, if you would be so kind, what will your question be? Hello, Mother, you still with us?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Pick your question.
So many good ones right there. So many good ones. Let's go with So in Love.
Did we pick that one already? I feel like we just no, we didn't.
She did Another Lover.
She did Another Love. Okay. She's so in love. Okay. Emilia wrestles with wanting a real, loving relationship while doubting Wrath's intentions. How do Emilia's expectations of love evolve throughout these chapters? And how does Wrath challenge or align with those expectations?
That's a rough one on me. I don't think I can answer that one fairly. How does it evolve? I think she recognizes he does have feelings for her. She knows, believe it or not, she don't want to admit, but she knows that she has feelings for him. She's finally acknowledging that within herself because she's been fighting it the whole time. But she also recognizes he does feel something for her. Now, how does Wrath challenge or align with those expectations? Well, she won't love. She's still in lust. But he does not. Well, let's face it. He's a prince of hell. He's not going to be lovey-dovey. He's not going to be like, "Girl, I love you. I need you. I want you." That ain't finna happen. But that's what she wants. She desires someone to communicate with her on that particular level, but that ain't who he is. He is very much that the general of war. He is a demon, and he is very much about his business. Now, he has proven that he has a soft side. She has seen it. Hell, she was the one that broke it to reveal it. So she recognizes that, yes, he will submit to her, but he's not going to be the exact, he ain't gonna be who you envision in your teenage mind as this lovey-dovey man. That's the end of that. She ain't really, she wants and desires a certain type of relationship, but she does not recognize that you're never going to openly see him be that particular way with you in public. Now, he might be soft behind the door with her, but even in that, he's shown how he can go from 0 to 100 instantaneously. And she wants what she envisions to be the ideal person or the ideal man, and he's not the ideal man. He's a demon. Demons don't work like me. And that's the part she need to wrap her head around. So he's going to always challenge her overall concept of what a true husband would be, because she keep talking about my husband. I want my husband to be there. But in certain instances, he does align with the sensual side, because he does have those things. He does have that in him. He's not voluntarily releasing that in her presence. And I think that's what she wants. She wants him to be, how do we want to be passionate and romantic? He ain't gonna be romantic. He has too much ability to possess her to get what he wants. And he said in the earlier chapters, if I wanted you naked and beckoning for me, I would will it so. So in essence, he's telling you, I want you, but I don't want you like this. Because if I wanted this, because she was like, do I please you not, master? You know, when he had control over her, it was real obvious. He could have control over you and have you any way you want, but he wants you where you have your own mind, you have your own being, you're about this, which is one of the reasons he gives her so many opportunities to have choice. Even Envy told her, oh, he ain't the one that's gonna make you do it, but you sit around and wait too long and not decide, he gonna move on. And Envy told her that. So, you know, it's like you wrestling and wanting something that you believe in your mind is supposed to be this loving relationship, but you got to recognize who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a demon. He's a prince of wrath and the prince of war. He's going to not force you. So that to me was a true sign that he cared for her, because he's already told her if he wanted her a certain way, he could have her. He could power and create that scenario of what he wanted, but that's not what he wants from her. He still wants her to be independent in her own mind. That in itself should tell her, but she does not think on that level. A lot of that has to deal with the fact that she's still young. We talking about a teenager or a young adult. And so that's where they are bumping heads, because he's proven without a shadow of a doubt that he cares for this woman. But what she envisions to be a loving husband is not what she's going to get from him, but he is being a loving husband. He's preparing her to protect herself. He's always covering her. He's making sure she don't have to desire or want for anything. Her closet stay full. She get anything she want. If she say, I want to go to your brother's house because I'm mad at you, okay, I'm gonna make it happen. Boom. He go over there and call his brother. Envy, she coming over here. And he told her brother up front. She agreed to accept it, but I would have said no and sent you a hell of steaming dog shit. So I'm sorry. I'm just saying she's not going to get what she already has what she looking for. It just ain't wrapped in the package she wants. And with that, I yield.
Thank you, Mother, for that assessment. Yes, you consistently mention her age, and I do agree that in this facet of the storytelling, it is a major factor. I feel like many of us in our youth have conflated ideas about what romance should look like based on Disney culture and just societal culture, all those things. And for Wrath to tell her, oh well, we well suited enough, it comes as a blow to that conflated idea of what romance and partnership should look like, right? I remember a musical I saw called Waitress, where the main character, she asked one of, I think it was the cook, she was like, "Are you happy?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm happy enough. I got a good job. I can pay my bills. I'm cool." But for her, who she was actually pregnant at the time, the character was like, "You know what? I don't want that. I want to be really happy. I want me and my baby to be genuinely, truly happy." And I understand Amelia having a similar frame of mind, because nobody wants to feel like their love or their devotion is being tolerated. Nobody does. But I do agree that it's some unreasonable fairy tale expectations out here. And not just in Amelia, but in many people in our age brackets. It's like there's a priority of a list of traits over shared values, and that's not cool. Like, because you want to be with the person that's gonna stand by you when it's time to bury your parents, not necessarily the person that's got the six-pack and the sexual chemistry. Now, if you could find both,
Perfect.
amen and amen again. But I think people forget that it's possible for love to grow over time. And yeah, Wrath definitely wants to grow with her. He wants her to grow and develop. He wants her to be his equal. He don't want no other servant, no other subject, no whatever you like. He don't want that. He recognizes her potential. He recognizes her power, and he wants her to rise to the occasion. So yeah, good stuff, Mom. Good stuff. Glenna, if I can find the questions, I'm gonna have to pick one.
When you get there, I'll take training day.
Training day, Jesus. Okay.
This gonna be good.
All right, the training day question. Wrath's harsh magical training pushes Amelia to the edge. Do you think Wrath's methods were necessary to prepare Amelia, or did he cross the line? And how should power and consent operate in their dynamic?
Okay. Honestly, the way he was training her and using his magic on her, I think was necessary. Because as he said at that dinner coming up, no one's going to pull punches. Everybody's going to throw everything they have. And if she's not prepared for it, it's going to come back and bite her. Hold on just a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes we don't always get to do what's right. We got to do what's necessary, aka all the Slytherins in Harry Potter. Bow. Nah, I find myself doing some of that at work too. It's like, I get y'all got these ethics we have to consider, but what is necessary? Huh? While I understand the need to be vague, while I understand the need to have flexibility, what's necessary is specificity if we're trying to get the job done. I'm just saying. And maybe it's just me. So yeah, I'm with Wrath when he right. That training wasn't right, but it was necessary. Hallelujah. Ladies, what is your assessment of that? Oh, sorry, Glenda's back.
No, you're fine. So while I think what he's taking her through is something she's going to need to train for, especially before this dinner with all his brothers present, I think that he should have informed her what he was doing before he did it. Because number one, he just blindsided her. He didn't give her a chance to prepare. He didn't get a chance to settle her mind. Before she walks into whatever ballroom she's going to be walking into, she's going to have a minute to steel herself before she walks in that door. And he should have allowed her the same possibility at that moment. Whatever irritation he was feeling, which I'm glad he had remorse for later because he was, going to apologize. But I think he holds a great deal more power than I think she even thinks he does. And I think she needs to be made aware of what that looks like. And if what he can do is what happened, what would his brothers who don't give a damn about her are going to do? So I think in their personal dynamic, he technically had her consent when he asked her about training. So from bare bones consent, he had that, but she didn't have informed consent. And I think that is a difference that needed to be taken into account. I think he needed to say, I'm going to play with your mind worse than the Sin Corridor ever thought of doing. This is happening. Be prepared for it. This is what we're doing and why. Because any good training in any capacity for whatever you're studying, you do so much better if you know the whys before you know the hows. Yes, Lisa.
Do you think by any, and this is for anybody, do you think the reason, even though the training was necessary, the reason he did it the way he did it was because he was a little hurt or upset that she left him to go to Envy's house because she was upset about what she found out? Because that's she was like, after that, after he confessed, she was like, okay, you know what? I need to go to your brother Envy's house. Yeah, I'm going to take his invitation.
Date of birth.
You know what?
Last name?
That might just be,
because she was in 13, she was still bothered by that situation, and that's when she requested to go to Envy's house because the invitation had been there for a while, and that's when she got up and left after that he revealed. And
I think I think he might have been feeling away.
Notice he wasn't there when she came back initially.
Yeah, he
to her being upset with him, and as a result, jumping into Envy's bed. The possibility of jumping into Envy's bed.
I mean, them princes of hell, them brothers really do have some serious pissing contests going on. Cause like, child.
And I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he had an argument or had to reveal something to his woman. That's like what's his name said, he's in My Confessions. If you tell your girl you had a baby by somebody else, what you think she gonna do? She gonna be like, wait a minute, I need a minute.
I mean, not everybody's first course of action is to be hot in the pants, though. I mean, that's probably the last thing you desire with that kind of news. But I don't know what kind of person he thought Amelia was. Like, confessions like that don't wet my cooch.
But I don't think it was so much of a wet her cooch. I think it was more of that I need to just get away from you for a minute, and the only way she could do that is to accept this invitation. Let me go over here.
But it was also a moment of, you just hurt me deeply. What's the biggest thing I can do to hurt you? And it's go accept Envy's invitation for a few reasons. One, Envy just stabbed him.
Right. That's
almost to death. And so knowing that happened, that could be a
slap in the face.
If I can get it out, Mom.
Sorry.
That could be a metaphorical stab to wrath, because this is the person that just hurt me to a point where I couldn't come back to you, and your first result, the second you get hurt, is to go to him. That's very childish. But then I can appreciate the fact that we have learned, at least in a small manner, the reason that at least these two have such an issue with each other. Because Envy made note of the fact, because when she said, "Why are you just so hateful to him?" Well, he said, "Because he did something that caused me to lose something important." And there's the ain't nothing like a woman scorn, but it's something different when you do it to your siblings. Because to me, it seems like the two brothers with the absolute worst relationship is Envy and Wrath. Because Wrath ain't even have it out this bad with Pride. And Pride is a dick. So yes, she needed to get away, but I think she also was aiming to make him hurt in the way that he hurt her. And the most immediate way for her to do that was to go to the person who he has the worst relationship with. And she can go under the guise of, oh, he's gonna give me information about Victoria, yada yada yada. Baby, this whole time y'all been trying to hurt each other's feelings. This is all you doing. You're not really caring about your sister so much no more. So it felt kind of like a tit for tat thing.
That's why when he did what he did, he made sure he had on the white shirt so she could see all the blood, and she in turn stabbed him versus his brother stabbing him. Like I said, I really think that was him showing, like you said, Cammy, a tit for tat. But he was like, okay, this is how much you hurt me. And even though it prepared her, it was another, like you say, another way of showing that. Go ahead, Angel.
So knowing how powerful Wrath's influence was over Amelia, do we believe that Antonio killed Victoria of his own volition or under the influence of one of them demon princes?
I think he did it on his own.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
50-50.
50-50?
I was going to say 50-50. I think that demons had some influence over him, but they probably brought them feelings, emotions even heavier up.
Let me rephrase.
She did mention, oh, sorry, go ahead, Kim.
50-50, yes. I think he had to be bribed by a demon, but I think the physical act of doing it, he did on his own in vengeance for his mother.
Okay, I can get with that because he already had those emotions at bay. It wasn't too hard for one of them princes to grab that other influence and be like, hey, come on over here and stab a few witches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think her having that realization, being under Wrath's power, like something clicked for me there. Like you had all this vengeance up toward this boy, but look at you. You about to stab your man to death. Well, not
she did. Well, she stabbed him.
Well, because he couldn't die, but you know what I mean.
I was trying to catch Glenda before she had to get back off and see what was her thought on, him training her the way he did was because she went over to Envy's house.
Sorry, I am actually here. I'm walking out to my car. So
Okay.
I'm multitasking, as it were.
I see.
I think that certain aspects of what he put her through were to show her hit the level of influence and the kind of see how much you hurt me kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what
I think the master aspect was a big one. And I think although I think that one had a little more to do with the snarkiness in response to her keep mentioning that she was going to be his queen.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. But yeah, I think the white shirt and the stabbing, that was, basically a mirror of what happened with Envy. I think that was definitely a you hurt me and now I'm going to respond in kind. But I don't think he took into account her mortal emotions and brain and how badly she would take what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one thing to be slightly petty in the I'm going to go, over here because you kind of pissed me off versus a I'm literally going to make you stab me and I know you have feelings for me. Those are different, entirely different levels of screwed up.
Ooh.
Both of them were screwed up. Don't get me wrong. Both of them could have been solved by a conversation. But such is the world.
Yeah, when you say it like that, my heart hurt. Just, oh. Thank you for that assessment, Glenna.
Right. I'm going to go. With all of this, I totally yield. I'm going on my way to my car, so I'll be unavailable for just a few moments, but I will pick back up and once I'm in my car.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Cam, did you go? Hang on.
You the only one who haven't gone, Angel.
I'm the only one who haven't gone, as always. I be forgetting. Y'all bear with me. Okay. So we did So in Love, Training Day, Another Lover, correct? Okay, so it's these three. Okay. I'm gonna do Envy's answers. Envy offers manipulation disguised as temptation and reveals major lore about the triple moon mirror. What do you think Envy's real motivations are? Ooh, it's hard to say. Outside of what he's already told us, and that he is looking for retribution for whatever it was Wrath's anger caused him to lose. I think that's the crux of his real motivations. Now, outside of that, it's possible he just wants to collect more items or relics for his curiosities corridor or whatever it is. It also could be that he's just evil because he's the prince of hell and he's a demon. That's just what the nature of that is. Can he be trusted more than Wrath or less? At this point, I think we can trust Wrath more based on one of them tattoos that Wrath has, acta non verba, so actions, not words. And the pattern we are repeatedly seeing with Wrath is that even though there are forces at play and fate and things that he cannot reveal to her, his pattern has shown that he has her best interest at heart. Even down to the first book when he told her, "Oh, you trying to get vengeance?" I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't recommend 0 out of 10, but he still walked with her on that journey all throughout the first book, knowing what was at stake and knowing that she was headstrong and knowing that she was just making the dumbest decisions possible. Whether or not they were going to be in a matrimonial bond, that kind of support is very rare to come across, even down to him saving her life. So I don't know. If somebody saved me from being ate up by some Valpyridae venom, I trust them. But maybe that's just me. Because you don't have to save my life. You really could have let me die then. You also could have let me just die in the sin corridor. But no, he stayed with her. He walked her through that whole thing, and in the midst of all of that is still trying to educate her and get her to level up. The card game in the first book about strategy and how to control your emotions, the training that he's giving her now, albeit very misguided in how he went about it. The pattern, though, is still there, that this man is a protector. I trust somebody trying to protect me with a whole afterlife, but that's just me. That, I believe that is it. Yeah, that's it for this week. Any final thoughts, predictions, questions, anything? before we wrap up for the night? Hey, Glenda's back. Welcome back.
I was expecting the knockdown drag out WWE for Pride and Red. I feel like it's gonna be an all elite wrestling match between him and Envy first before he get to the WWE. So he gonna do the all elite with now. Just
Oh my goodness. Yes.
let's be real. What one of the things you said, Angelita, you were saying,
Oh, the full government. Okay.
he can be Wrath can be more trusted than Envy, because I fondly believe that Envy is out to not just to collect things, that he's out to get back at Wrath by hurting Wrath.
Mm.
And the reason he had Amelia, he seeking Amelia and getting information and letting her do what she do, stealing a portion of her powers for all of that. I feel like he's doing all that to get back at Wrath and put Wrath in a weakened state, because Wrath will fall to what he's believing. I believe he knows that if Wrath truly loves this girl, he's going to fall if something happens to her, or he's put in a situation where he has to make a choice for her.
That's I'm not sure he loves her though. Like, he's definitely a protector of her.
He's a protector of her, but I believe if it comes down to it, because now we know he feels some kind of way, but if it comes down to it where Wrath has to make a choice of losing power or taking her or something to that extent over something that Envy is doing, I think he would. I believe there's going to be some turmoil there between. I'm gonna just say this. I believe there's going to be some turmoil there between Envy and Wrath. I'm sure something's gonna come later with Pride, but right now, Envy is making it known that he's a power player. It ain't just Wrath and Pride that got the power. He got some too, and he's making it very obvious, and he's making it very aware that you ain't seen or heard the last of me yet. Me stabbing you ain't it. That ain't all I'm gonna do.
Ooh-wee. Man. Glenna, any final thoughts, conclusions, questions, predictions?
I don't have any predictions or anything at this point, because with the exception of, the fact that they were betrothed was the only thing I thought was solid going through to this. But I thought it was he was betrothed and Pride was betrothed and she'd have to choose kind of situation. But this works too. I'm keeping an open mind going forward, because we think that Envy sent the skulls, but doesn't necessarily mean he did. Just because he had the grimoires to do it, he's not the only one who has power in that place. He's not the only one who wants to manipulate the situation between her and Wrath. This could be the higher power. This could be any number of situations. I honestly, I think Envy's too obvious to have done this. I think it's something else. I don't know what it is, but I think it's something else. Yeah, I'm kind of in a point where I'm just waiting and seeing at this point. There's a lot of avenues and a lot of paths people could go down at this point, and nothing's irrevocably been done. So I'm in wait and see mode right now. That's where I'm at. And
I
with
feel
that, I yield.
I feel that. I understand that. And you're right. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, dang, we really didn't get confirmation that Envy sent the skulls.
No, just suspicion.
Would have been
But
that girlfriend she thinking about.
it could. It could.
It
Can,
could be the mother, the what is it, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. It could have been one of them.
Oh yeah, could have been any of them too.
it sure could.
There's possibilities. And what I like and am slightly irritated about with this author is that they don't exactly set things in stone. It's everything's a possibility. You never know what's coming around the corner, and good luck if you guess it right. And I both like that about authors and am irritated about that with authors, but it definitely makes it interesting. It keeps you guessing, which is fun.
Agreed. It definitely it makes you want to keep reading, but it also it's frustrating. So I'm like, dang, pride ain't the devil. Dang, envy ain't sending the skulls. Dang, but we don't know. I mean, all of this is conjecture.
Yes.
Cam, final thoughts.
I have a little more respect for Envy right now than I did at the beginning of this book, because I'm pretty sure he knew why she decided to stay there, like, to some degree. But while they had dinner, he voluntarily made himself as much of an open book as he could by telling her, you can truth spell this drink, right? And he willingly, knowing that she did it, willingly drunk it and answered as much as he could until we got to the one question where he was like, I can't answer that. And I think he probably couldn't answer it for the same reason that Wrath couldn't answer some stuff. They might be under somebody's microscope. But whatever the case may be, he still willingly volunteered his brain to be as open as physically possible by giving her the necessary avenue for him to do so. And I think that speaks volumes for him, especially considering right now she is about to be queen of a house where her supposed fiance has not done that at all.
Now that's some tea. I like that view. Thank you.
And I yield.
Guys, regarding like final thoughts, I just want the truth. Because we know that everything she's been told by her Nona and all them witches has been a lie. I just want to know what really what really went down. What was the curse? Why was the witches getting murdered? Why are we here? What's the prophecy? Really? What's going on? What's going on? Like, somebody reveal. And I know it's not gonna happen in these next 8 chapters that we gonna review next week, but I just want a little bit more clarity because my nerves bad. I'm over here sitting here just flipping pages like, what? Huh?
I honestly don't think we're gonna get it out of this book.
We won't, and that's gonna piss me off even further because
So that means we just gonna put the other book on the thing. Everybody put it on there. It's guaranteed to win. No.
I'm just playing. I just get a kick out of yellow card and you like soccer. But yeah, ladies, good stuff. That's it for tonight. We will reconvene next week with chapters 19 through 26. And yeah, catch you next week on the Family Plot. Bye.